Thank you for being here, and we welcome all of those watching on lakelandmagic.com via YouTube. I want to welcome to my left Lakeland Magic D-League President Shelley Wilkes, and to my right, Robert Palmer of the Robert Palmer Companies, and we'll be hearing from Robert here shortly. Earlier today at Crystal Lake Elementary in Lakeland, we revealed our new team name and logo for our D-League team that will start playing in Lakeland this fall. We are very excited about the reception that we've received in Lakeland. The fans and all of our business leaders there and our elected officials are incredibly excited about the team being there, and it was great just to see that excitement today as we finally unveiled a name for their team. I'd like to give special thanks to Robert Palmer and his Robert Palmer Companies for their sponsorship and for their generous support of the Lakeland Magic. One of the reasons why we chose Lakeland as the location for our franchise was due to the amazing support of people like Robert. Robert's a Lakeland native, and his sponsorship is critical in shaping the future of sports in that area and critical to the future of our Lakeland success. Robert stepped up in a significant way as our founding partner, and we'd like to thank him very much for that. Robert, welcome to the Magic family.
Yeah, thank you. It's exciting. It's exciting.
All right, at this time, I'd like to introduce our team president, Shelley Wilkes, for a few comments. Shelley?
Good evening. So earlier today, we were able to announce the team name as the Lakeland Magic, presented by HomeValue.com. Again, it was a very exciting event in the city of Lakeland at a local school. The energy in the room was just amazing, and we've been so warmly welcomed by the city of Lakeland thus far. And we're just very excited to continue that. You know, we selected Lakeland Magic because we did a naming contest for only 2 weeks and we had over 3,000 entries. So the enthusiasm was there about this team, and a lot of the entries were to call the team the Magic as well. And it really does create a great brand synergy for us between Lakeland and Orlando. And as you can see, the colors are similar as well. That brand equity that the parent club of the Orlando Magic has is extremely important, and we think being able to really grow upon that is going to be the most important for us. And again, I would like to echo Alex's comments that Robert coming on board has just been so great for us. We are so excited. You're going to get to see a lot of different brands from the Robert Palmer Companies, including the founding partner of RP Funding, which you'll see that on the center court of the court at the Lakeland Center, which is going to be really fun. And then HomeValue.com will be on the jerseys for our D-League team. So again, we really thank you, Robert, for all of your support with us. And again, it's integral to our success as a franchise going forward. So we're looking forward to it.
We are too.
And so I'm going to turn it over to Robert for a few comments as well.
Yeah, when we looked at the deal and the partnership, it was exciting, Lakeland being my hometown. And as I looked across Robert Palmer Companies, the two brands we chose initially to be a part of the partnership were RP Funding. Being a regional mortgage player and a very strong regional brand, it's going to take advantage of the assets that are most usable across the I-4 corridor. And then HomeValue.com, being our national brand, we'll get the equity of being on the D-League jerseys as they travel to away locations, and as we use that on things that we feel will be more nationwide. So it was really unique for us to be able to position our more regional brand on the assets that fit it best, our more national brand on the assets that fit it best. And personally, I'm excited about the name. I think that brand equity is going to be great for us. I think turning Lakeland fans into Magic fans when they can come up the road an hour for a Magic game is going to be huge for our success. And then two, expanding out the footprint in which we can use the marks based on the Lakeland footprint and then also the Orlando footprint is a big home run for us as a brand. We see sports as being a primary focus of our advertising. We're in a world where people are watching less television, they're recording things and playing them on demand, and live sports has been a big hit for us, and brand alignment with great brands like the Magic is a pivotal to our success.
Okay, at this time we'll open up for questions. If you could please wait for a microphone.
For Alex and Shelley, Josh Robbins, Orlando Sentinel. The response on social media to the choice of the name seemed to be mostly negative. Does that concern you? And I'm still unclear why you chose Magic for the name when there were other options.
I'm not concerned about it. We're not concerned about it at all. As Shelley pointed out, a lot of the people who submitted suggestions suggested that the name Magic should be extended to the D-League team. And for us, it's a great brand extension for the Magic. You know, it takes the Orlando Magic brand, as Robert's already alluded to, you know, down the I-4 corridor, and really gives us the opportunity to link Orlando to Tampa, and having that anchor of another strong Magic brand in Lakeland. So we're not concerned about it. We're actually excited about it. It gives us the opportunity to cross-promote in a significant way and utilize our assets in both directions. I know Shelley and her team are coming up with some great ideas as to, you know, how we'll promote the D-League team here and how the D-League will promote the Magic team in Lakeland. So we're very excited about it. And I think as we get into operation, I think those that perhaps, you know, have a negative sense, as you say, about it, will understand and actually will embrace it over time.
Rob.
Yeah, and the only thing that I would add is that we also did some research among other D-League franchises and how a lot of some of the names currently are for the parent franchise as well. You'll have the Austin Spurs, you know, so there's a lot of connection already, and they're finding a lot of success with that brand equity. So that was definitely part of the decision making. Is key learnings from other teams was very important also. And again, as we've said, there were tons of people who suggested that name, so we really just concurred with the group that was submitting names for the team.
7 of the 22 D-League franchises carry the name of the parent club. There are going to be 25 teams in the league beginning next season. Those other 3, I believe, still have not announced what their names are, so it's yet to be seen as to whether they carry that same approach.
Robert, Orlando Magic, Philip Rossman-Reich from Orlando Magic Daily. As someone from the Lakeland area, personally, what does it mean to have a team like the Orlando Magic and a league like the D-League or the G-League associated with the NBA coming to Lakeland and providing that opportunity for residents of the area?
Yeah, you know, it's huge. And I look back in my childhood, the Lakeland Center was a big deal. There were a lot of great concerts there. We had a hockey team there once upon a time, and we've kind of had this void where that center hasn't had a great sports team. They've had a lot of failures, I'd say, over the last decade, decade and a half. And so to have a team show up that's backed by, such an amazing organization as the Magic, clearly this isn't someone playing around at minor league sports. Was really critical to our decision to get involved, and it really makes me feel good that this is going to be around, that this is something we can put our name behind that's going to be here for the long haul and shape the future of Lakeland. People love sports. We have spring training there, which does really well. I think this is just going to be the next level. I think this being our hometown team, though, this is the team that Lakeland can really rally around. And Lakeland's population is growing like crazy. All of Polk County is. It draws from Tampa and Orlando. I think it's a home run for the city. I think it's a home run for the Magic brand, and I'm just honored that we could be a part of it.
John Denton, OrlandoMagic.com. Alex, you alluded, could this have happened without Robert's support? And Robert, were you trying to spur others in the area to jump on board? I mean, you're a believer in the Magic. Were you trying to show others that a guy from Lakeland is getting involved and believes in the Magic, that they should as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We want everybody in the community to get involved. We want this to be big. I felt like by us stepping out in such a big way first would help bring others behind. We've got a very powerful brand on the RP funding side in the I-4 corridor. And so for us to put so much of our brand behind this, I think is going to help bring more sponsors out of the woodworks. We're going to help try to facilitate as many meetings as we can. A powerful sponsorship base is critical to the success of the team, not just our support, but the entire community's support. And I think there's a lot more to come. We've got a lot of other ideas when it comes to the Lakeland Center, when it comes to the community as a whole, and when it comes to sports in that city. In my mind, this is just kind of a first step. How do we bring more high-profile concerts to Lakeland? How do we bring other, whether it's more exhibition-type games to Lakeland? How do we bring more great events like the high school state championships to Lakeland? And so that's something we're definitely going to be involved in and trying to make Lakeland more of a sports center here in the state at that level.
And John, to your question, I would say that Robert and his support are our launching pad for sure. It's the launching pad for the success of the team. And, without getting into specifics, I'll just tell you that Robert's support and the magnitude of this deal will be one of the biggest in the D-League overall. And I think that's indicative of his commitment to Lakeland. That's indicative of his commitment to this team. And that's indicative of, how this is really going to be a launching point for us, because now we've raised the bar with Robert's support. And I think that, as Robert says, will bring a lot of other people along behind.
Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel, what was the runner-up name, if you will? And
I can give you some of the names that were considered. So there was the Voodoo, one that was heavily suggested, though we quickly voted out, was the Swans. It's a very prominent name in the Lakeland community. It's part of their logo. The Illusionists was another one. There were a lot of throw to the Magic that just didn't make sense from a fan-facing perspective. So those were some of the ones that we kind of took a hard look at and ultimately landed with going with the Magic.
So now we know why you chose Magic. Okay. Also, because the D League is in Lakeland, will the team utilize it more?
There are two reasons why we decided to buy Erie, Mike. Number one, and most importantly, to utilize it more from a developmental standpoint for our basketball team. Although we have utilized Erie, and we've had a great relationship with Erie, the distance from here was a challenge. There's no doubt about it. And you saw this year we sent Steven Zimmerman down for a few weeks, a couple of times, but the challenge of getting to Erie in that distance really didn't allow us to utilize it to its fullest extent. Now, being in Lakeland, we'll literally be able to have a Magic player play in a D League game tonight, get in his car, come home, sleep in his own bed, and be at practice with the Magic tomorrow morning. And vice versa, as we need a player due to injury and we can call a player up. That player is a 50-minute ride away from being here and being at practice and then ultimately playing or being available to play in a game. So we will definitely use it to a much greater extent. It'll become a core part of the development of our players. It'll be a core part of the rehab of our players. When they get injured, to go down and play a game or two in the G League before they come back up to the Magic roster and play in the NBA again. So that was the primary reason, for purchasing Erie and ultimately locating it in close proximity, to the parent club. Secondly, we love Lakeland because of the ability to extend our brand, as I said earlier. We really see this as an anchor to take us in a much stronger way all the way over to Tampa. And we've got season ticket holders in Lakeland, and we've got great supporters in Lakeland, but this gives them the opportunity, to, on a more regular basis, interact with the Magic brand. I think for a lot of Lakeland residents, they would come over here, but for the most part, it might only have been on weekends because of the drive. Now they can take in G League games during the week and come over here on the weekend and really watch the progress of these players as they develop and ultimately play themselves up to the big leagues. And people in Lakeland can say, I was following him at the very beginning of his career, when he was just getting started, and now he's a player on the Magic roster. So, it's going to be a great benefit to us organizationally, both from a branding and marketing standpoint, but most importantly from a player development standpoint on the basketball side.
Will Ogburn, Orlando Pinstripe Post. You guys talked about kind of the in-stadium experience. What do you see for the future of the D-League and the team itself as far as where this team could be seen by people who can't go to games? Do you see some kind of like a streaming option, or do you think as the D-League grows, potentially they'll get more on television? How do you see that future playing out?
Why don't you talk about Facebook Live?
So currently there is a great relationship with Facebook, and all of our D-League games are streamed live on Facebook Live, which is an awesome opportunity for, again, people to be able to experience the D-League product. We have gotten multiple new national television games as well on NBA TV and others, and that will continue to grow as well as the league grows. And, I think there's a lot to be said about the Gatorade partnership and now the G League, it brings a sense of clout to the league, and it's really going to help expand that brand and make people pay more attention to those players and to those games. So again, moving forward into next year, we'll definitely be on Facebook Live, and we'll be looking at some additional broadcast opportunities on television also.
Yeah, we're using our media relationships as well as one of the largest advertisers in the area to make it known to our broadcast partners that we would be supportive if there was broadcast of the D-League games. At the end of the day, advertising revenue is a huge decision maker and a huge factor for a broadcast partner. And if we step up and say, hey, we're willing to put dollars behind these broadcasts, we think we can help move the needle as well. So that's another part we look at in the partnership.
Any final questions?
Alex, here's a question. With so many season ticket holders here in Orlando, what are you guys going to do about basically advertising to your season ticket holders to go out to Lakeland to support the Magic?
Yeah, we see an opportunity to cross-promote in both directions, quite frankly, and we're going to do that. We're going to have regular features here at the Amway Center that promote our G League franchise in Lakeland, and similarly, we're going to be promoting the Magic games in Lakeland to our Lakeland Magic fans. And our hope is that there will be an opportunity, for both to see both products. And we want to try and make it as seamless as we can for them. And we're working, cross staffs. I mean, Shelley and her staff will be a separate staff, and they will be, working out of Lakeland, and they won't be full-time Magic employees. They're full-time Lakeland Magic employees. But they'll work very closely with their counterparts here at the Magic to cross-promote, and our intention is to truly cross-pollinate that and have people come back and forth between Lakeland and Orlando in both directions to see both teams.
Corey Hudson, Orlando Pinstripe Post. How did the logo come together? Is there any symbolic significance to any of the elements?
Yeah, so we did multiple iterations of the logo, and as you can see, there's the Jersey word mark is the Magic logo that really ties those brands together. We really liked the circular aspect of the logo. It just is very much forward-facing. It's more futuristic. And then we included 5 stars, which are really about those 5 players on the court really coming together. So that was kind of the thought process behind putting the logo together.
Any final questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.